Welcome back. You're listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two BFFs read romance novels to stay connected and learn about ourselves, each other, and you. You know how much we love and appreciate our patrons, so let's start out with a Patreon shout out. Danellia V, you are a cactus cat, a feline of the American Southwest with hair like thorns and a particularly spiny tail. You're especially ingenious, so at night you slash cacti with your sharp tail and then come back a couple of days later to drink the now-fermented juice. It's said that the cactus cat can be heard whooping it up at her very own badass cactus juice party from miles around. You're basically a homebrew and self-care expert. And fun fact, you're also immune to scorpions. We also have a sponsor for this episode. Tits out for sponsors! This episode is brought to you by Heart and Hand by Rebel Carter. It's a ménage, mail-order bride romance set in Western times that will melt your heart and set your bathing suit parts alight. Here's the description. As the daughter of a wealthy Union officer and a freedwoman, Julie Baptiste is used to the glitter and privilege that comes with being one of New York society's upper 400. But it doesn't take long for Julie to realize she yearns for more than the non-stop engagements and niceties dictated by high society. So, she decides to do something bold and answers an advertisement for a mail-order bride and town teacher in Gold Sky, Montana. Ex-Union soldiers Forrest Wicks and William Barnes have been inseparable since the war. They share everything, including the dream of finding a bride who's willing to marry them both and provide the isolated town with a teacher. How will a debutante-turned-teacher manage frontier life with two husbands? Talia Hibbert, a huge favorite of ours, says, Rebel Carter writes with wit, elegance, and longing. Her love stories exist in a world of their own, and it's one I never want to leave. If you haven't picked it up yet, we'll include purchase links in the show notes. It's a must-read, so make sure you one-click it. And now, let's get into part 1 of Bully by Penelope Douglas. It's a new adult novel that didn't quite work for us, but allowed us to have a ton of fun in the episode. Here we go. Erin. Hi.
Hello, Melody. Melody.
Yeah, that's me.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen.
I am feeling cranky. So this
Are
is going to
you?
be a good one. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited. I love it when you're cranky. Crank it up, Erin.
I don't know if you have anything in your life you want to talk about, but I want to do a little bit of cult housekeeping this morning.
Cult housekeeping.
Yeah.
All right. I'm into it.
As about 1,000 of you know, we have a closed Facebook group called the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. Actually,
Indeed.
We recently got an email that I was going to reply to, and then I didn't, asking...
Me too.
Yeah, I know. We're sorry, everyone. Asking why it's called the Geriatric Friendship Cult because we're young, and the answer is because we were talking about it maybe like when we're all old, and we no longer have partners, or we've kicked them all out, or whatever.
Yeah. It's our Golden Girls plan.
Yeah, that's when we're going to go live on...
Build the commune.
The commune, right.
The commune of excellence.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so here's the thing, guys.
What's up?
We recently chose some moderators to moderate the cult.
Yeah, we
just,
did.
It's just getting bigger, and we've had maybe 2 problems that are honestly barely even problems. But...
Right.
We weren't around to monitor one of them, and we didn't know what happened, so we thought maybe it's time to get a couple moderators.
Yeah, we need just a few hands to pitch in and lend their time.
Did you see this fucking thread?
I did, and I
am
those bitches
livid. These 3 bitches who we chose.
Oh yeah, who are amazing. They are not involved in this. It's
bullshit.
Everyone else who needs to.
I think one is. Actually, all. Listen. Everyone needs to take a seat. Because they were like, listen, they were like, oh, well, now that we're moderators on the cult, now that we're administrators, do we get to share some of the possessions?
No, that's not true. Somebody else started the thread being like, does this mean that they are second in command now? Like, are they going to get some of the the possessions? That I wish you could see Erin's face.
No.
There is no second in command, you guys. There's no second fucking string.
No.
This is not a committee, all right?
No. There is one commander, and it is us. We are an amoeba of one.
That's true.
And then they're talking about like, oh, well, I want this kind of possession. Each of them was like, I want one. This is the possessions that I want. I want this kind. And blah, blah, blah. And then you got one on there posting her Merriam-Webster definitions of commune. Like, we don't know what a fucking commune is. I know what
As
a
if
fucking
we
commune
don't know.
is. You share your shit with me. That's what it is.
That is exactly
you sign
what it
up.
is.
You go to Facebook. You say,
That's right.
I would like to join the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult.
That's right.
And you answer the questions. Just two questions. Like, what's a Heaving Bosoms? Just so we know you're not a terrorist or a robot. And that means you give us all of your possessions.
It's very simple.
It's so easy. I don't get it. Oh my gosh. These bitches.
These bitches, I
upset
know.
me so much. I couldn't even.
I know.
About halfway through, I just commented, "What?" in all caps. And then they're like, "What do you mean, what, Erin? What are you asking what to? How many hair dryers we all have?
Part?
Or what is the which part?" I'm like, all of it. This whole thing.
How are you even discussing this amongst yourselves?
In fact, we picked you guys to be fucking moderators. You should be taking this down. This is dissonance.
That's what how dare they?
You know, I've just got, here's the thing. I've got to make a rule that's just like no dissonance. And then they can use that to take down, I don't know. You know the problem was?
What's up?
We chose strong, smart ladies to be the monitors.
I mean, we're stupid sometimes.
And what we should have done is chosen weak, dumb ladies to be the moderators so that we could control them.
I know, but here's the thing. There's not a single weak, dumb person in the cult. Like, God damn it.
We can't think of any weak, dumb ones. Oh, man.
I know.
I don't know if this is going to work out. We might have to eliminate them and
dun, dun, dun.
consolidate power at the top. Anyway, that's my banter.
Anyway, we're really excited about the moderators, you guys.
We love
like,
it. In
fucking
fact,
excited.
The problem was we put out a call for moderators and we got like, I don't know.
And then we got too many awesome ones.
And then we just couldn't decide because they were all so good and we didn't know what to do.
They were
and
so
then we
good.
didn't do anything for like 4 months because we didn't know what to do. We were like, we need moderators. And then these 7 to 10 ladies emailed us and we were like, now.
And then I locked up. I was like, how do I choose?
Yeah, we
can we have a
7
fleet
to 10
of moderators?
Can we just forget we said anything because we can't pick our favorites out of these women? Yeah, so then we just ended up picking the first 3 that had emailed us.
Yeah, because the most important thing about being a moderator is like just being in it, you know? You gotta see the post, you gotta take action. And that's what they did. The first 3, I think I got
until
the first
they
3
posted
emails.
some bullshit about how they're taking our rightful possessions.
Listen, it's just some growing pains. It's okay. We've got this on lock. It's fine.
It's not called the Heaving
commune?
Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. It's a commune. We just sometimes colloquially refer to it as a commune.
It is going to be an amazing commune.
It's not mean.
But it's going to be, but it's like a cult.
Yeah,
though,
it's a cult. You know? We get the stuff. Here's
right.
what it is. It's like here's what it is. We get the stuff that you currently possess.
Right.
Your house.
Yeah.
Your romantic partner. Cats.
Sure.
Jewelry, expensive things, cars, fancy stuff, okay?
Right.
We get your fancy stuff. Mm-hmm. And then when you come to the cult, we give you some bullshit stuff, like a bag of rice, like a weird little outfit you gotta wear, and and like some tiny idols of Melody and I. And it's like that stuff is
they need something to pray to.
Right. That stuff is the stuff that you share.
Right. Well, plus I think we're gonna, we'll have the stuff you need on hand.
Right.
You
like your gardening tools.
Bring your hair dryer.
Your hammer. The stuff you need to work for the cult, for the greater good of the cult, we'll give you that sort of stuff. And you have to share it. Because what if one day you're working on hammer stuff and then the next day you're working on gardening stuff, you know?
Garden stuff. Yeah.
It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, we're going to have a beautiful garden in that cult. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You're going to learn to be a green thumb.
Can't wait to see you there. It's going to be awesome.
All right. I can't wait for everyone to send me their like Vitamix and stuff, you know?
Ooh, Vitamix. Oh my God. We're going to have like a whole room full of Vitamixes.
I know. We'll never run out.
It's going to be incredible. They're going to be so loud when they're all on, and we're going to turn them all on at the same time.
We are. Yeah. I don't know what else could be better. Okay. All right. You know what we're going to do right now? We're going to shift gears. That's what we're going to do.
I'm not losing this attitude. I'll tell you that.
Erin is fired up, you guys. And I'm so glad you are because, so we had a conversation. Erin has had a rough week, which is actually, I don't think has anything to do with your current mood. It's all cultists. But no, I'm kidding.
You guys, I am exhausted. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So yesterday I was like, how's book? And she was like, well, I haven't cracked it and I'm gonna use, tonight to read it all. And I was like, no, don't do that. I will just tell you book and you can react. But then she made the mistake of cracking it. And all of a sudden I got this text that was like, I'm 12% in and I have shit to say.
I have things to say. I wanted to finish it because I had so much to say. But I didn't finish it all the way, so Melody gets to reveal the ending to me. I'm sorry I'm such a bad, what do we do, podcaster? But I'm going to try to be better.
You're an excellent podcaster. I
just have a very busy week. And usually when I have a very busy week, I just make up for it by reading all night on like Saturday and Friday. But it's Friday today, you guys. And I just don't have work, so.
Yeah, we're recording super early so that we can have a nice Memorial Day weekend.
Woo!
Also, my brother's upstairs watching Ember and Valor, and it's the best. Okay.
Is he wearing the lipstick?
He's not right now. He hasn't made himself up, though, yet, so who knows?
Yeah, he's not ready for the
day. All right. We read Bully by Penelope Ward, and I have got some disclaimers on the top. I want to give you the lens I'm looking through to devour this book, and that is, 1, high school and a lot of like new adult don't work for me a whole lot for a couple of reasons. It's weird because I fucking love a coming of age high school rom-com if it's a movie. I don't know why. I think it's because I can look at them and be like, you're obviously 25. And I can, take out the age in my brain.
Yeah.
But when I'm reading it, I cannot do that. I don't care how hot you tell me the hero is, I look at him like he's a baby. And I don't want that. I don't need to look at a baby's penis. I don't want it. I don't want it. And actually, the author in this did a really smart thing. And she had both of them turn 18, like on the page. You watched them have their birthdays. And I still was just like, barely legal is like not a thing for me. You know, I'm sorry. So that's one thing. And then in this one in particular, there's a lot of like girl on girl crime that makes my blood absolutely boil. And it never ends. Nobody ever has an epiphany about how they should stop being dicks to other women. And I know they're really young, but it just, also this heroine in particular didn't super work for me just because I saw a lot of my immature self in her. Like I had a period where I was like, I'm not like normal girls. And I'm so ashamed of it.
Oh, yeah. That was like my whole life, most of it.
I know. And it's like, if only I could have realized earlier on the power of women and community and the power that I have within myself instead of being like, I'm cool because I'm more masculine. It's just like, it just makes me really sad for myself, for other women. And so like being immersed in that period of this heroine's life, I'm hoping, she grows out of it in her fictional future. But it just made me really sad. And then also this lineup has been a lot of angst. Like the last 3 books, I've just been in a world of angst, whether it's Viking rapes or, really sweet getting over trauma via hot BDSM sex. That book still had a lot of angst in it. And then this one, just fuck, man. The amount of casual assault that happens in this book, both violent and sexual and all that sort of thing, like just to move the plot forward. I'm just exhausted. So I think that if I had read a hating game before this, or, you know, like something that's a little bit lighter, more fun. Yeah, I would have been okay, but I'm tired.
I'm sorry. I did the lineup, but I just thought this would be an upper because it was YA. And I don't know why I thought that, because every time we read a YA, it's like, why is everyone getting raped? Why are there slaves?
Why is everyone so mad?
I don't understand.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. So those are my disclaimers. That's where I'm coming from. I think that a lot of people will like this book.
If you like YA angst. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have another thing to say. Listen.
Tell me everything.
While I was at KissCon, I hung out with, the ladies. And a couple of these ladies revealed to me that they had recommended books that we did not like.
Cool.
And that they were embarrassed by that. Like, no. I'm the one that recommended such and such, and you didn't like it. And it wasn't even books that we hated.
Like loathed?
It was just books that I didn't particularly care for.
Sure.
And then I felt really bad because it's not, I didn't feel bad for not liking the book, but I felt bad that people were thinking that it was some kind of reflection on them or what we think of them. It's like, I don't care if your favorite book is Fires of Winter. I do not care at all.
No.
I think that smart, wonderful, lovely people probably like books. Listen, one of the smartest colleagues I work with loved fucking Shades of Vampire. I tried to rag on Shades of Vampire to her, and she's like, that's my favorite book series. I was like, how is this even possible?
I've read all 47 of those.
Yeah. No, she had.
Yeah. I know.
And so I just don't want anyone, because we know who recommended this one, and she's very cool, and I'm about to
and we love
rip it to fucking shreds.
It is absolutely not a reflection on you. It never impacts what we think of you.
No.
Because I also know that, because a lot of my notes are like, I think this would have been hot in 2013 when it was written.
Really?
But just time's up, Sorry. I hate to
Or maybe if I were younger.
Or if I were younger, yes. There are a lot of things that I think would really, really work in this book in a different setting or a different time period or a different me.
Yeah.
But at this moment in time, I cannot.
Or if this were the genre I was used to. I don't read a lot of YA, and I never have. So it's always kind of jarring when we go back and read a YA because I'm not used to it. But some people read exclusively YA, and that's just what they're used to reading. And so I think that's part of it too.
Right.
Anyway, okay.
Right. So never, ever
I just want to say that.
Our relationship, listener. Never. You are so important to us.
Because this is the first, I think, listener-recommended book that I'm about to murder since KissCon. So I just wanted to
shit upon?
I'm sorry. Oh, God. And we're not book reviewers either. So I feel bad that, listen, authors, we love you. We know it's hard to write a book. We're just girlfriends chatting about how we hated it. Okay.
All right. So Tate and Jared.
All right.
Yeah. Tate and Jared.
Tatum.
We've got Tatum. Love it.
Listen. Hey, bing boom bong Tatum. Yep. I'm sorry. Listen, if you're out there and your name is Tatum, great. More power to you. You're probably an awesome lady out in the world. But in fiction, I find that the name Tatum is used for the worst women. That's the end of. I just feel like every time I open up a book or watch a TV show or something and somebody's like, I'm Tatum, I'm like, I'm gonna hate you. I don't know any Tatums in real life. I'm not talking about you, Tatum, listener, HB Tatum.
Right.
Just in fiction. I've just noticed in a lot of teen stuff, there's the sexy girl named Tatum. Anyway.
Right.
All right. Tatum.
I have a different name complaint, but we'll get there when we get there.
Casey?
So, yes.
Here's
the thing, you guys.
I hate initial names. I can't.
Oh, the BFF's name is Casey, and I got so angry because if you're gonna fuck up my flow with the
two
periods
in the middle of a sentence, I can't.
Yes,
I can't believe we have the same.
Well, wait. I don't know if we have the same thing, because my thing is, if you're gonna fuck up my flow, then take two letters that I cannot turn into a phonetic name. make it JR.
No.
But like, if you're going to say Casey, just like spell out CASEY.
But it's cooler.
Or however. No, it fucking isn't. It just fucks with my brain.
No, I just hate initial names anyway.
Well, I also hate initial names, yes, but it especially irks me if I want to read Casey and I want to say Casey, but in my brain and in my mouth, I have to go K-C. Like,
and I also think that they are,
mad.
I think initial names are less popular these days. Like, I think we grew up with a lot of like JJs and like those sorts of things. And I don't see kids with those names anymore with like initials, but you know, whatever. I just hate initial name. I hate reading initial names because it screws up my flow.
It does. It screws up my flow. Yeah. Yes. But it heightens it to an 11 if it's a name that sounds like a name.
I love
instead
how you're
of
like
a name that sounds like two letters.
Oh, we'll get to it. And she's the first person who speaks in this book. It's
I know. I forgot.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
here we go.
It opens up a year ago, you guys. Past tense. They are 15, I think. I don't fucking know. And they're going to a party. The protagonist, Tate, is worried because she's not allowed at parties because there's a bully. You guys, it's called Bully. And there she has one.
So her voice I found to be weird for a 16-year-old. This is also an issue I run into a lot with YA novels.
The whole way through.
So let me just
they all sound like they're 43.
A couple sentences I highlighted on page 2.
Mm-hmm.
The party ruckus amplified the closer we got to the house. Have you ever heard a 16-year-old
I have never
talk about a party ruckus? That ruckus
it was
over
so
there?
Ruckusy.
The hair on my arms stood on end at the sight of all the bustle and enthusiasm of the party.
Oh,
Wait,
my goodness.
People danced, horseplayed, jumped, drank, and played football. Yes, football in the living room. But listen to the list of things. Dance, horseplayed.
You stop your horse playing. Not in the house.
Jumped.
You put that vase down, Jenny. You put that vase down. Your grandmother got you that vase.
No horseplay. Okay, danced is normal. Horseplayed, jumped. Just jumping. Have you ever been in a party and you're just jumping? Like, not as a portion of dancing or horseplay or playing a football game, but just jumping up and down.
They're just jumping.
And then they played football. Anyway, those are 3 sentences that will get you used to the heroine's voice in this book. A lot of ruckus and a lot of like. We had the same thing in Shades of Vampires where it was like football was not a game that appealed to me. Oh, it was not I don't remember what it was. Anyway, it was something like that. It's just like, just say I don't like football. That's what 16-year-olds say. Anyway.
Right. Yep. Okay. So, basically at this party, what was it? Tell me.
Football was not my most favorite of games. I was like, what are you?
It was
60?
I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right. Sorry, moving on.
Later on, I have a note in here that's like, everything was fine until the subject of him came up. And I'm just like, say it was fine until she started talking about him.
Yeah.
God.
You're 16.
It's a lot of passive language also. Like, it's the combination of them not really sounding like teenagers and passive language on the page that I'm just like, get your uvs out of here. Anyway, okay. So here's what happens at the party, you guys. She has the audacity to try to go to a high school party. Her bully and his sidekick try to step in. She finds out that her keys are no longer in the bowl when she wants to leave. They have thrown her keys to the bottom of the pool. So she jumps into the pool, grabs her keys, and she's like trying to fight back and, not be a mouse about it anymore. And then his sidekick says something fresh. And so she punches him right in the schnocker and fucks off. And then she leaves for France for a year.
This doesn't bode well because I definitely missed the punch.
What?
Yeah, I know. Several times in the book they refer to how that character has like a crooked nose or whatever and it's her fault. I'm like, man, when are they going to tell this nose story? Sorry. Whoops.
Okay, so then chapter 1, she comes back
from France, from her year in France.
France, she's been wearing a beret and eating baguette.
No, she hasn't been eating baguette.
No, she has not.
She comes back hot and no one can explain why. Everybody's like, ooh, you're hot now that you came back from France.
Well, yeah. And she's like, I look the same. I just kept running while I was in France because I didn't want to lose my cross-country spot for senior year.
But that's a maintaining thing. I don't.
No, I know.
I have no idea.
And she says that.
Yeah.
It's never explained in the book. But I think like all of a sudden people just think she's more like worldly and European or whatever. I guess she comes back with an air of mystery because they forgot that she was a mouse who always got bullied and had like crazy rumors or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because that's part of the thing, you guys. The bully has been spreading rumors around her to make sure that boys don't ask her out. So, also here's a setup for you, you guys. The dad, her mom is dead. God. Rest in peace. The dad is in Germany for 3 months.
Yes.
And he's just like, all right, 17-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
You just live in your house now.
Yeah.
You just live in your house. At some point in the book, he's like, I don't even know the laws surrounding this.
He does. And I think the author put that in to be like, I don't even know the laws surrounding this. Yes. Penelope was like, BT dubs, guys. I don't even know the laws surrounding this.
Right. Exactly. But, they take pains to set up that her grandmother lives like 2 hours away, but has to take care of her sick sister or something. And I'm like, she has a best friend. Yeah. You can't just set up like, it's the weirdest thing.
No,
anyway.
We needed her alone in that house. With
she's got to be alone.
French doors. Bing, boom, bong. Those French doors in her bedroom.
French doors.
Oh my gosh. Like night one, there's a storm. And and her French doors
crash.
They blow open.
Rain.
And
it's so refreshing on
against her skin. On her French doors.
But camisole.
She goes to the French doors, and she can see her bully Jared's house next door, and the French doors faces.
And he's like lounging on his window.
You guys, the number of times the words French doors appear in this book is like crazy. Like, just imagine the number of times where you think that a heroine living in a house that contains French doors might say the words French doors, and multiply it by like, I don't know, 55. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a search, and I'm gonna tell you. Continue.
I think it's 16.
Did you do it?
I did do it.
That's so much times. It sounds low, but it is a lot of times.
It's so many times. It's like any time she's in her room, the French doors are swinging open, or she's closing the curtains.
She has a sex dream that
involves
her fucking French doors.
Sex dream. Yep.
It's crazy.
It's good.
Also,
it's nuts.
Who are you that you are 16 years old and you live in a bedroom with French fucking doors? Is this Peter Pan?
I think so.
Oh my God.
No, and her dad is always at the ball, but she has no nanny. Yeah. Where is the fucking
Not even the sheepdog. Yeah. Did you notice the part where she talks about how her house boasts hardwood floors?
Yes.
I'm so glad you noticed it. All right, moving on. Okay. 16 years old, you turn to your friend and you're like, listen, we can dye my hair right out here in the living room because this house boasts dark hardwood floors. So don't you even worry about this hair dye. We can mop it up off the very boastful hardwood floors. These floors that my house is so proud of. It talks about it all the time. Those French doors. I'm sorry. I'm done. We can move into the plot of the book.
Okay, you guys. So there's a storm a-coming, and she is done video chatting with her now German dad. That's how that works, right?
Guten Tag, Vater. Now you're German.
Ich liebe dich. Okay, so...
Oh no, I'm sorry, German HPs.
Yeah, Tabby, I'm sorry.
Oh, I forget that there's another HP that's been very active in the cult lately who's German. I can't remember her name right now. We're sorry. Okay.
Okay. She sees her neighbor and he like Actually, nothing happens in this chapter. She sees his super douchey car with a super douchey racing stripe, and it goes into his garage. Then she sees him in his room. He sees her and stiffens, and
Not
she thinks that
penisly,
she's
just bodily.
No, but probably also
Yeah,
penisly,
but we don't know
looking
that.
back.
Yeah.
We don't know that yet. And she thinks to herself that she's not going to be bothered by his shit anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So then she's unpacking with her friend KC and learns that Jared's been racing down at the loop. Now, here's the backstory, you guys. Jared has been BFFs with her since she was like, I think, I don't know, fucking 10 or something. And they used to work on her dad's car with him together, and they always dreamed about racing a car together at the loop.
Yeah, her dad taught them both how to drive, too, and to drive stick.
Right. Yes. And then all of a sudden, something happened after the summer. They turned 14, and he did not want anything to do with her anymore. He was super mean, and then he started all these rumors about her, and she didn't have a best friend anymore. So she has gone off to France and has come back and is now like, maybe it'll be different now. Maybe he's like forgotten that he needs to bully me or whatever. Casey says that this foreplay between them needs to like come to a head.
Ugh.
Yeah, what kind of 16-year-old looks at another one? 17, I'm sorry, they're 17.
Yeah.
And it is like,
No,
you know, that
she's-
this foreplay
well,
between
Never
you
mind.
two.
I'm sorry. She's 16 in the first.
The start,
Yeah,
yes.
Because I remember, because he comes up behind her and she's like, Jared, my bully, is behind me. And I'm like, what is this guy even doing wrong? He's just standing there like pouring a drink. And she's like, God, I hate him. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And she's like, he makes me want to do things with the ice cubes that God never meant a 16-year-old girl to do. And I'm like, what?
What?
Put him up your vagine? Like, I don't understand. Stick him on your nips? Like, I don't know what.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then why would you do that? Listen, if somebody's mean to you at school, your first thought is never like, maybe I'll put this ice on my nips and see what he does. Like, no, that's not a thought that you have. Anyway, that's how I remember she was 16, because that was the weirdest. Also, when you're 16, you don't think about your 16-year-old body, ever.
I don't.
No.
I never did. No.
Anyway,
I didn't.
now she's 17.
Okay, so she's 17 now.
Yes.
And then, okay, so we find out through this whole thing, because she protests too much to the whole foreplay thing. And Casey's like, no, I mean, like, the foreplay of your fighting. Like, you guys need to just, like, fight it out or whatever. And I'm like, that's also not a thing, Casey. So part of the pranks that he's done to her include, but is not limited to, telling the whole school that she has IBS and sending an entire case of yeast infection cream to her in math class. Which,
I don't even know if that's possible.
what? First of all, I don't think it's possible. Second of all, how is that a thing that other kids would be like, oh man, I can't believe you accidentally got your yeast infection cream sent to you at school? Like, of course everyone would know that that's a prank, right?
Yeah,
like,
like,
nobody's gonna do
And
that.
also, I don't think you can mail stuff to students at school. Like, the only time I
No.
think you can get a delivery at school is like Valentine's Day. I don't think that, and even
And
then,
if anything, it would be in the, like, print, it would stay in the main office, and they
Yes.
would be like, Tatum, please come down to the office to get your giant vat of yeast infection cream.
Exactly. I had one time where I got a Valentine's Day something sent to me at the high school, and I definitely got called down to the principal's office to retrieve it. It's not a thing, guys.
Yeah. Okay, let me just read you what Casey says, shall I?
Yeah.
She goes, oh no, Tate, I don't think he's engaging in sexual foreplay. I think he really does hate you. What I'm saying is, isn't it about time you fought back, played the game? If he pushes you, push back. I tried to let her words sink in, but she continued. Tate, guys aren't mean to attractive girls for no reason at all. In fact, most teenage guys' energy is for the sole purpose of getting laid. They don't want to diminish their options, so they're rarely mad at any girl, unless she's betrayed them, of course.
Oh my God.
So, like, first of all,
So now we know
no
that Case
16-year-old
or
on the
what's
planet.
her fuck has betrayed him. Somehow.
Yeah, somehow. But also, like, that just doesn't sound like a person, let alone a 17-year-old. Anyway, so she's like, I didn't do anything wrong. And they talk about, like, maybe having a boy over, having a party or whatever, but she's a goody-goody who's nervous because she respects her dad too much. Okay. What is so funny over there?
There's a man walking down our street just carrying a bundle of wires that's so large. It's like It's like larger than his torso, and I don't know why. It's like 6 a.m. Why are you walking down the street carrying what looks to be like a 50-pound ball of wires? What is your life? What went wrong for this man?
What went wrong for this man?
He's done now.
All right. Apparently he's out of view, so Erin can focus.
It's so tangled. He's never going to get them untangled. Okay. All right. I'm back.
Maybe he can just melt them down. It's fine.
Maybe. I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay, so cut to Jared's having a Friday night party, and this little old lady next door needs to be up in the morning for running.
Yeah.
So she's like, this time I'm going to take the bull by the horns and I'm going to ask him to turn down his music. So she's in her sleep shorts, you guys, and her teeny tiny little camisole. And so she puts on a hoodie and she goes over and she runs into the sidekick that she punched a while ago.
Maddock.
FYI, Erin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maddock. Actually,
it's got to be his last name, right?
I don't fucking know. It never says. And for the first third of this book, I was calling him Maddock because I'm a dumbass. And
like Milady? Maddock?
Apparently.
The doctor?
Maddock. And then I checked myself and it was fine. So anyway, this is where we get our first glimpse of the absolutely mind-irking. I don't even know. Like my mind is so angry about it that I don't have a descriptor for it.
Mind-irking.
All of the rampant slut-shaming. She walks into this party and her inner monologue is people dance in the living room or some rather slutty-looking girls let themselves get dry humped.
Yeah.
Just like,
getting dry humped is the best. Like, what's your fucking problem, Tatum?
Yeah, it's So anyway,
dry humped is the best. Don't quote me on that. I just feel like in high school, like you wouldn't be like, ew, somebody let herself get dry humped. That's not a thing.
No, you're just like,
they're dancing.
I don't know. Wouldn't you? I would hope so.
Yeah.
Anyway, she goes over and his BFF Maddock says that he's busy having sex with a girl called Piper upstairs.
Yeah. But the way that they're like, this guy is described like a king.
Who, Jared or Maddock?
Yeah, Jared. And like Maddock's like his henchman. And what's her fuck? Tate walks in and he's like, he's already got a girl, so he doesn't need you. It's like a girl must be provided to King Jared every evening. Right. And then the henchmen stand guard to make sure no other thirsty bitches go in there trying to get on him. Like that's what it is. And he doesn't ever have sex with any of them ever again. He must have a fresh, new lady every evening.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah, that's literally what it's like.
No, that is, yeah.
So then he does this really gross grope. And he's like, man, you're looking super good in those sleep shorts. And he says, he doesn't understand what's up with her. And she finds out that he and Jared have been sabotaging her whole high school career.
To get boys to not like her.
Yes. And so then Jared comes down, and do you want to know what he looks like, I guess?
Oh, yeah. I was about to bing, boom, bong, bird click you.
Yeah. All right. Even with my resentment towards Jared, I couldn't look away from the way the muscles in his smooth chest stretched with his arms. My body involuntarily reacted as heat gathered below my belly and steam moved up my neck. He stood half naked, wearing only a pair of black pants, featuring a wallet chain hanging from his pocket. Woof. His skin was tanned and his hair was shamelessly mussed. His 2 tattoos blazed, one on his upper arm and one on the side of his torso. His deep blue and white checkered boxers peeked out of the top of his pants, which hung loose due to the unfastened belt looped around his waist.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Let's break this down, shall we?
Let's.
All right. All right. The first thing we notice is we've got Jared here in like some state of he couldn't bother to buckle up his pants. He couldn't fix his hair.
Yeah.
He couldn't throw his shirt on.
He pulled out of Piper.
Okay.
And like walked out of the room.
But Piper totally polished.
Piper has her heels back on.
Heels back on. She's buckled up those strappy heels. She's ready to go.
Boy, has she.
Makeup. Flawless. What's Jared's fucking problem? That's number number 1.
That's right.
Point number 2, wallet chain.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about
Wallet chain.
Let's break this down. 2013.
13! Yeah!
Wallet chain.
I really want there to be flames on his wallet. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think there's just gotta be.
There are 100% flames on his wallet. 100% that tattoo on his side is also flame-like.
Oh, God. It's gotta be.
Let's talk about the tattoos. 2 tattoos at 17?
Yeah. 17.
2 tattoos.
Yep. One is a lantern, and one is like a scripty situation.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Guys, bird chirp. Don't get fucking tattoos before you're, 35.
Yeah, before your, like, frontal lobe is fully developed.
What's that, like 26 or something like that?
It's gotta be like 26.
It's just like, listen. If there, at least in my high school, if there was a man with 2 tattoos, and by man I mean child, that was a red flag.
Child.
No one in high school looked at other high schoolers and was like, ooh, a tattoo, because it was more like an indication that something's very wrong in that person's life.
Yes,
they have 2
absolutely.
tattoos by the time they're 17.
Or the quality was so terrible that you were just like, oh no.
But this kid's 35. Like, he has a motorcycle. You guys, he has a motorcycle. A motorcycle.
He really is. No, he's like a 35-year-old, like, washed up mechanic. Even the way he talks a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no. He's like a 35-year-old washed up crime boss is really a more apt way to put it. All right. So then we get another girl-on-girl crime situation. Yes. Piper comes out and she's trying to get his attention, and she's like, putting her body up on him.
Yeah.
And she thinks to herself, our heroine, the girl I'm supposed to root for, thinks to herself, no wonder guys acted like jerks. Girls like that, let them. Get your whole face out of here, Tatum. I can't with you. I won't. I can't and I won't. Okay. Oof. He takes her into another room, and she asks him to turn on the music, and he's like, it's Friday night, and if you get rid of my entertainment by breaking up my party, then I'm going to need you to give me a lap dance to provide me with more entertainment.
All right. Here's the part of the book that I started listening to on audio 2X.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
I believe in this. The problem with audio is that you can't take notes in sound. You can't take sound notes. I can say things out loud sure. WTF, but it doesn't get recorded in any manner. There was a time where I yelled, "What?" in this book out loud. But I believe he says something like, "You can't take my party. I love my party." Or like, "I like my party," but like singular. And I thought that was very weird. That's the end of that story. All right.
So then this is one of the first times that we get him being a douche and her being like, ooh, it's kind of working for me, because she has to remind herself that she hates him, which is fine. I get the trope. Fine.
Sure.
And then instead of doing that, however, she shouts cops to everybody and makes them scurry out of there. And he tells her that he's going to have her in tears in no time.
It's such a dick.
It's really weird.
It's like a supervillain.
Yes. And especially since, 60% of the way through the book, he just turns a complete 180.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
His dialogue is very old, like Lex Luthor supervillain. Like, I'm going to make you cry. Like, I don't know.
He's a washed up crime boss.
And then the only line that he says in this book was in here, I think, that made him sound like a high schooler to me was he like started playing pool and she's like, I need to turn your music down because I'm in track me. And he looks up and he's like, sorry, were you still talking? And I was like, that's very high school. Yeah. But the only other, that's the only time that he sounds like a high schooler. Everything else is like, I'm going to get you and you're going to be sad. And like, it's really weird.
Like, I'm going to have you in tears in no time.
That's so weird.
And I mean, this is also pretty high school. She uses her middle finger to wipe away a fake tear and says, that's the last tear you're ever going to get out of me.
No, I think that's also the most unbelievable thing.
Oh, maybe. I just like the gesture. Just think about what I mean? It's like a snarky gesture.
The last tear you're ever going to get. I don't know. I could see it in a high school movie. I couldn't see it in an actual high school.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so then she goes back to school and everyone is noticing her. And Casey is like, maybe Jared's not going to be so bad this year because he seemed a little bit nicer when you were gone. Although apparently he had like a flame out as soon as she left, and she starts thinking like, ooh, I wonder what impacted him.
Ugh.
Oh, and a super hot football called Ben holds the door for her.
Oh, yeah. Football Ben.
Football Ben. Yeah, he's a dummy.
He's a dummy.
But he'd get the job done if you let him, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he turns out to be a little bit of a jerk, but Football Ben.
Yeah, Football Ben at first is real promising.
Yeah.
Okay, so at lunch, oh my God, and now this. So this is supposed to be her best friend, right?
Casey is the worst.
She texts Casey, and she's like, see you outside for lunch? I texted Casey. Too windy, she shot back. And then in like italics, she goes, always about the hair. It's like what she thinks. And I want to be like, fuck you, man. Like maybe she doesn't want to get hair in her mouth every time she takes a bite or like chase napkins around. Like, why do you have to be so fucking judgmental and come to these conclusions about vain women? That's like always her first thing.
Yeah.
They're slutty or they're vain or they're shallow or they're stupid. Just like, fuck off, Tate.
That's the problem. Like any one of these statements taken alone, I think isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's fine, but you just get, it's just a barrage.
But it's all the time, you guys. Like even the thought about Piper is like, you know, the girls are like letting these guys treat them like trash, and so they think that they can. I mean, that's a sucky line, but alone, I don't think it would have been like extremely upsetting. But the problem is there's like 300 of those in this book.
It's constant.
Or 16. I don't understand how numbers work. But 16 would be a lot. But it feels like 300, you guys. Have I ever wanted to go outside? My friend was like, no, my hair. And I thought, this bitch with her hair all the time. Probably.
Sure.
But all she ever thinks about is these bitches with their hair. You know, like it's all the time.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay, so Maddox approaches her in the cafeteria and taunts her, and then he does this grope and like puts his mouth on her neck. There are at least three instances, I think, of like a taunting sexual assault or an almost sexual assault by people who are not the hero.
Mm-hmm.
And then
at
there's
least
like some
two
questionable
that are
stuff
like with
the hero does too. Yeah. And it's just, I'm just exhausted. So
I will make sure that the next book we read contains 0 rapes for you. I promise you that.
Thank you. I just need like a Josh and Hazel or something, you know?
I really wanted to read next Desperate Measures by Katie Robert, but I will push it down a little bit because I know
I would like for you to do that. I need a breather.
Because I know
bitches.
We might need a little bit of a breather before we read about Jafar taking Jasmine and putting her in a cage. So
yeah, like I know it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
I know it's going to have all the consent boners in the world or whatever. Yeah, I need something fucking frothy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
So she knees him in the balls and then like hits the ground and she shouts at him on the ground, which is like all is fine. Okay, all that's fine.
Yes,
and she finds out later that Jared and Maddox covered for her with the dean, so she's not going to get in trouble about that.
Right.
Oh, and then some bitch who doesn't matter, Macy, I think, whispers, you know, a lot of girls were happy about that scene in the lunchroom. Maddox slept with half the senior class, not to mention some of the juniors. He deserved what he got.
What does that mean? Was he mean to them?
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, I thought that was
odd,
too.
Did he rape them?
Yeah.
Is he raping all of them? Because, like, yes, then he would deserve what he got. If he's just a charming guy who likes having sex with girls one time and one time only,
right?
That's not a reason to drop someone in the nuts. Like, that's not a reason.
Is he giving them false promises? Is he... it's not explained.
It sounds like he has quite the reputation, and women keep choosing to sleep with him.
Right.
So, like, what does he deserve, you assholes?
Right.
You know what bothers me? It's another slut-shaming thing. It's just one more instance of slut-shaming that I'm just over it. Having sex does not make you a bad person, everyone. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So.
I think the HBs know that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Probs. Okay, so then she's showering after cross country. She takes a little bit longer than everybody else, so most people are dressed by the time she gets out in her towel. And then Jared ominously comes in and is like, everybody out, Tate stays.
What?
Into the girls' locker room.
Imagine the situation where a 16-year-old boy, 17-year-old boy walks into a girl's locker room and is like, all of you half-naked ladies, get out of here.
Yeah.
This one stays.
I would have been like, fuck you, Trey.
Yeah, and it
this
works.
Is my
Yeah.
domain.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I will not leave this vulnerable person
Travis,
just because you told me to.
Connor.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out of here.
Josh. Absolutely not.
Doing that.
Like, what? Then all of them just like scurry out like little cockroaches?
Yeah, he is,
fuck that.
He's a king. He is the king of this school.
He's not a mob boss. I don't understand.
The motorcycle is the thing that just really blows my mind. Did anyone in your high school have a motorcycle?
Not a single fucking person. They had dirt bikes.
Yeah, sure.
That or four-wheelers.
Motocrosses.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Not a motorcycle and a fucking Mustang. And 2 tattoos.
No.
And a house.
Where does he
with
get
no
this money?
parents.
His mom is an alcoholic. Yeah. He has a single absentee mother.
Bing boom bong. Yes. So I was going to wait until we started talking about his family, but his mom is like, was for some time a functioning alcoholic and then became a non-functioning alcoholic. Not that there is such a thing. I'm just using, you get it. She was able to maintain a job for a while, but then she wasn't. And then his dad is completely absent, except for the time he visited him in 4th grade and something very nefarious happened there.
Right.
So he lives next to
a house with French doors and boastful hardwood floors.
French doors that boasts is so happy about its hardwood floors and has a Mustang
next to wait
and a fucking motorcycle and tattoos and I'm just like, what is this kid? Where? Anyway, sorry.
No, and wait, before that though, the socioeconomic differences between these two. He lives next door to a guy who is, I think he's a scientist who's currently on assignment in Germany or some shit. You know what I mean? He is an international scientist with this really nice house. And meanwhile, this motherfucker has
I can't. Okay, all right.
Meanwhile, this motherfucker has this meth head for a dad who's never been around and a not functioning alcoholic mother who somehow manages to pay the rent or I dare say mortgage. I cannot imagine this woman owns. You know what I mean? What kind of inheritance were they working off of before she drowned herself in the bottle? Where is he getting this money to not only keep the really nice house in a super good neighborhood, but also pay for all that? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Maybe he's actually the owner of the loop. I don't know. Because there's some weird shit that happens.
I can't wait for the loop.
With his loopness.
I can't wait for the loop.
I can't.
This house has a pool table as well. Period. Yes. I just wanted to add that. There's a pool table. Anyone who you grew up with a pool table.
And a pool, I think, in the backyard?
Yeah.
Question mark? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, there is a pool in the backyard.
And I think they maintain an arborist for that tree in between
them. They do.
Them.
Yeah, there's a...
where the fuck is all this money?
What is an arborist? I'm sorry. I just thought we were saying questions that we've recently had. What? Is that the guy that trims the trees? Trees are us guy? I feel like that guy, while he has good work, and I'm sure that's a great job, I don't think he has a title like arborist. I think he's just I think he does. I think he's just tree trim dude. Stumps removal Todd. Stumps removal Todd.
Todd.
I don't think that's arborist. I'm gonna Google it. Carry on. I'll be Googling stump removal Todd.
Okay. So, all right. So, I'm just going to read you what he says to her as he's backing. So, she's in a towel. She's naked in a towel. What, Erin?
Furniture. Arborist with Erin. You're right. You're right. And when you Google it in the dictionary, when you Google the dictionary for it, the definition is tree surgeon. Tree surgeon.
Oh,
Tree surgeon.
they are very exacting, those arborists.
Apparently, yeah, and all the tree stump Todd people also come up, so I think they are I'm sorry, I thought that was more of an unskilled, not unskilled, but I thought that was more of a manual labor job. Maybe they have to know about trees.
Erin, you have besmirched the name of Tree Stump Todd, and I'm really upset about it.
I think it would be a great job. I'd love to be a tree stumper. I just didn't know.
You basically have to know how to like rock climb too, because you got to use those carabiner nonsenses.
You probably need to know like
it's like a whole
how
thing.
To cut the tree so the tree doesn't die and stuff. I'm sorry, everybody.
And you need to know how to cut trees so that you don't bash houses to death.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty easy. You don't cut anything that's over the house.
Until it is over the house. And then what do you do, Erin?
Net.
Net.
Can we just stop reading this book and just chill? Please. I hate this book.
Actually, you know what I will say? I found this book to be begrudgingly super sexy.
A little bit.
And I hated myself for it.
Yeah.
Because he's also an amoeba. He is a fetus. Okay.
Oh. Age-wise. I was going to say, he's not squishy. He's very hard all the time.
No, he's super hard.
Also,
stiff as a board.
Who in high school did you know that was like built with a fucking six-pack too? Like, no one.
Only the people who got held back.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Steve Holt.
Only the 20-year-olds.
Steve Holt.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to say the name of my guy.
That's the guy from Arrested Development, Steve Holt. Steve Holt.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, wait. So, no.
Yes.
Erin, stop it. I am reading to you. God damn it.
Arborist.
So, stop. I'm just really proud of myself that I knew the technical term for something.
I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't know what a tree surgeon was until this day.
Okay. So, he's got her backed up into a corner. She's naked in a towel. I think he's got like his arms caging her in. It's like a whole thing.
Wait, where are they?
He's got his face right up.
In what?
They're in the goddamn girls' locker room. Everyone is scurried.
Guys, we're in the girls' locker room.
Yes. So he goes, "You sabotaged my party last week, and you assaulted my friend twice. Are you actually trying to assert some force in this school, Tatum?"
He's the king.
"I think it's about time, don't you?" Surprising myself, I blink. "On the contrary," he said, leaning his shoulder into the lockers and crossing his arms. "I've moved on to more interesting pastimes than punking you, believe it or not. It's been a very peaceful year without your smug, I'm too good for everyone else fucking face around these halls."
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
That is his villain monologue.
He's a super villain.
What? He's a 43-year-old crime boss.
He calls her names too. He's like, "God, you're such a fucking bitch, Tatum." Like, constantly.
Oh, I'll get to that. Yeah. So he's super intimidating her. She says, "Don't touch me." And then he goes, "If I ever lay my hands on you," he said, low and husky, "you'll want it." He brought his lips even closer. The heat of his breath covered my face. "Do you? Want it, I mean?" So she doesn't answer, and they go back and forth with her inner monologue talking about how dangerous and sexy he is.
Yeah, I mean, bird click, that was pretty hot. I'm gonna...
Yeah, bird
click, it was hot. When he leaned in and he was like, "Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of.
I do. I kind of, you can get it, but, I
don't want to want it, but I do acknowledge that, yes, I do.
I mean, yeah, but that's also because at that point, I was picturing a man with salt and pepper in his hair.
I want the 35-year-old version of that.
Yeah. Salt and pepper in his hair? No, Melody. He has salt and pepper hair. We don't need to bring spices into my love life.
That's your limit? You salt and pepper your bathtub. Why not your sex life?
Okay. So then a teacher sees them, and all of her teammates are also huddling around taking pictures of them. And then it's all around school. Everybody's saying that she screwed him in the locker room. And then her inner monologue says, "I'd been called a bitch before, and it didn't hurt the way being called a slut did. Being a bitch could be a survival technique. They get respect. There was no honor in people thinking you were a slut."
I know where I was when I heard that line. I was standing in front of my sink, and I was getting dishes to put in the dishwasher, and I paused and I thought, "Oh no."
Oh,
That's
no.
at least 30 minutes of the podcast. Just that line. All right, Melody. Is there honor
Listener,
in...
Where were you when you heard that fucking line?
Is there honor
Let
in
it go
being called a
down
slut, Melody?
in history. It is so goddamn honorable. It is about people making their own empowered fucking choices with their body. God damn it. That is one of the if go. And you know what? Not being a slut is also an honorable position, because that is also about you making empowered choices with your fucking body. And if we could all just decide to stop tearing each other down, the world would be such a better place for all of us ladies. And so now that my head is not on fire anymore, we can move on.
All right.
To something else.
I left to get more coffee. Are you done?
Oh, I'm so bad.
All right.
Okay. So, she accidentally transfers into the same class as Jared.
Whoops.
It is a themes in literature and movies class or something.
They just call it themes.
Themes is what they call it. That's right.
That's very high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, homework for themes.
Yeah.
What's going on in themes?
So football sits next to her and they flirt.
Football.
Football. They end up being paired up together for some discussions, both she and football and she and Jared.
In this class, you need 4 partners, and the teacher's going to alternate which partner you have. You need a north, south, east, and west partner.
None of that makes any logical sense. She
Nope.
could have just said pick 4 people, right? Why do we need to use a compass?
She wanted a situation where Jared was her north, and she was Jared's north.
I know.
What?
Ugh. I know, it's supposed to be metaphorical or whatever, except that it never fucking comes
No,
back.
she picks football for her east, and then just, honestly, this is like how the sentence goes. And then, like, some bitches were my west and south, and then, like, I didn't have a north, and then she's like, teacher, I don't have a north. I need to find my true north. Teacher.
No,
Teacher.
that's actually not what happens. She accidentally makes a stupid innuendo, which she doesn't notice. And she's like, teacher, is there any way that I can make a threesome with 2 other people? And everybody's like, snicker, 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 you're a slut. And she's like, oh, there's no honor in being a slut. And then my head exploded again.
Yeah.
You know what I think it makes me really mad is just because I was Michael's true north in our vows, and how dare everyone. How dare everyone? Okay. Also, to the point, they also get assigned a monologue and an essay.
Mm-hmm.
It is supposed to be a monologue from a book or a film.
So, 10 things I hate about you.
Yes. And then she's video chatting with her dad because we have to be reminded that he is German now. Okay. That's really the only reason.
Vater.
Vater. Guten Morgen. Gute Nacht. Okay. So,
Ben, daughter.
Okay. Bratwurst is the only other thing I can say. Sorry. Back on track. Casey comes over and they see Jared working on his car next door. This is important because A, we find out Casey 10 out of 10 wood bone. B, Jared's racing at the loop when that was their dream together. Yeah. C, Casey and her boyfriend seem to be drifting apart. And then she also says that Jared got moodier when Tate left for France. That's when we find that out.
Yeah. Casey is like very defensive of Jared, which is very weird in a best friendship. If a guy had done all this shit to you, I would never be like, oh my God. But his abs though, am I right? I may be like, I hate how he has stupid fucking abs. Like, I hate how he makes me look at his abs sometimes by having them. But I would never be like, give him a break. Abs, am I right? Maybe you should smooch him because of abs.
Or maybe I should smooch him because of abs.
Wait a minute. I should smooch him. I'm a terrible friend, and I will at the loop.
Oh my God. Okay. So Friday, there's another party, and this time she sneaks over, turns off all of his power at the circuit breaker, and locks it shut, which honestly is kind of an awesome move. It's super illegal. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yes.
It's like of the breaking and entering variety, I think. I'm not a lawyer. And so she's super pleased with herself.
Burglary.
But then, what did she steal? She didn't steal his power.
You don't need to steal something for a burglary. You just need to commit a felony therein.
Interesting.
Burglaries with Erin.
Bing, boom, bong.
She did enter the curtilage.
Times with Erin.
Blair's like so excited right now. So is Kelly for the first time in this podcast. Kelly's perking up a little bit. Curtilage, ladies. Curtilage.
All right. So he breaks into her house and she picks up a baseball bat. He takes the baseball bat away from her. He is shirtless again because I think he just pulled out of Piper again. I don't know that for a fact.
No, he needs a new cow every night. And by cow, I mean lady. I mean
sorry.
Movie that's about the cows. Sorry, I'm not calling ladies cows. It's a movie. It has Ashley Judd in it. What's up?
Yeah, Ashley Judd's in that one. That's right.
Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
It's about cows. Someone like you. There you go.
That's the one. There we go. Yes. Well, except that, remember, we find out later that I think he has Piper for more than one time because of the vendetta.
Smooch at the loop? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So he backs her up into the place. Throughout this squabble, he's really scary. He's breathing really hard. He's looking at her lips. He tells her that they're not friends because she was clingy and a nuisance.
Ugh.
What 17-year-old uses the word nuisance?
Yes.
And then he says that he underestimated her and asks if she's cried yet. And then he tells her that she'll just have to cry harder. And she realizes her Jared is gone. And my note is, right now?
Yeah, just now? It wasn't when he put all the flyers for genital warts all over your locker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, right now is when it happened. Okay, so now Tate is sunbathing. She's sunbathing in her backyard. Casey comes over crying. We find out that Jared asked Casey if she would accompany him
to the loop.
The loop.
Near, screech!
Bang, bang. And then of course, her phrasing for this, god damn it, it's not that Liam was cheating on her. It says, I saw him leaning against his car with a really sexy looking girl in super slutty clothes. God damn it. So then Tate's like, well, obviously.
I like how you just had this moment of like, I can't.
I just can't. I'm just not gonna. It just speaks for itself.
I feel like your point has been made.
I don't know. Literature like this still exists. So has it been made, Erin?
Well, yeah.
People still think things like this. I have been on the internet outside of the cult.
Oh.
Okay?
Congratulations. I didn't think you were doing that these days.
I'm probably going to stop it again, but... Okay, so Tate's like, you realize that Jared orchestrated this, right? Like, he randomly reaches out to you to go to the loop, and you see, like,
you just happen to see your BF.
Yeah.
Snorkeling a
Casey defends him and basically says that Tate is paranoid, which, like, Casey, how dare you gaslight your best friend?
How dare you?
After all of the other stuff that's already happened.
He figured out how to mail a yeast infection cream to a high school.
Yeah.
He's genius.
He knows how to do things. Okay. She hears Jared's dog in the backyard. Used to be a co-owned dog, essentially.
Between the two of them. It was a stray they found.
Yeah.
Madman. It's a little doggo.
Yeah, it's a little like Boston Terrier or something. Fucking adorable.
Yeah.
And she peeps through the fence. And because she hears the dog.
Oh, Madman.
She sees him feeding the dog things.
Yes.
Yeah, Madman's. And she sees some scars on Jared's back. It's supposed to make you love him like you love Jamie Fraser. It won't, though.
It won't.
And then I'll just read you something. It says, son of a bitch. Why did it always have to take me a second or two to remember why I hated him? His shiny brown hair was a mess.
So
I loved that. His chocolate eyes glowed with confidence and mischief. I loved that. His toned arms and chest just made me wonder what his skin felt like. I loved that.
Yeah.
He made me forget how awful he was. I hated that.
Yeah.
So the dog gets through the fence and visits her for a minute, and then he's like, Madman, get the fuck back over here. Stop being disloyal.
Yeah, fair.
Like, visitation's over.
Yeah.
And then his mom is randomly around and invites her in for a chat. Basically, we find out why his mom is never around on the weekends. It's because she's chosen to spend time with her boyfriend instead of her son every single weekend.
She's got a boyfriend in Chicago, so she can't come down to Downers Grove as often to spend time in their big fancy house. Sup, Downers Grove HBs. House. I know you're out there. Big fancy Naperville houses.
That's right.
So she's in the city every weekend.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't know, this was also a really judgy chapter.
Yeah.
I understand a little bit, but it's also...
Here's what I want to know. Okay. So the mom comes out, says, I want to visit with you, Tatum.
Yes.
And then they're like, yeah, let's all have a visit. And then she hears him get in his car and peel out because he doesn't want to have a visit, I guess. And he's a dick. Mm-hmm. When she sees Casey, after the electric cutting incident, she's like, yeah, what's his fuck told me that you cut his power. Does mom not know that she cut their power? Because mom seems to be like really nice.
Well, she did not. Yeah, she doesn't know that. She didn't cut the power. Remember, she cut the lock off of the breaker box, turned off all the things, and then locked it with a different lock.
I thought
So all he had to do...
I thought she, like, cut something.
No.
Yeah.
She just locked the breaker with a lock.
Speed, guys.
Yeah, he just didn't have access to the same key. So with a pair of bolt cutters, he fixed it immediately.
I thought she broke their house.
Same.
Oh, no. Then she did... You guys, bing, boom, bong, no burglary here. I thought she broke the house. So I was like, why is mom not like super pissed at her? Because like every time one of my friends broke our house, my mom got very pissed.
As she should. Yeah. Don't break my fucking house.
Don't break my house.
That's right. So at school, Casey tells her that Jared's been texting her too to like follow up and see how she's doing after the breakup. And then Casey, she has no loyalty, and this Hufflepuff will not stand for it. No. So Casey's like, it seems like you're the bully now because you're like breaking up his parties and being all bitchy or whatever.
Who's the real bully, Tatum? And it's like, Jared is.
How dare you?
Yeah. Right? He like gets in my face. It's like, you're a bitch and I'm going to make you cry. He's the bully.
But no, Erin, he's not because the sexiness. He has a sexy face, so it's okay, according to Casey.
Also the scars.
Yeah, he's no Jamie Fraser. Not my Jamie Fraser.
Not my Jamie Fraser.
That's right. He might have a J name, but he pales in comparison. So different. All right, so Ben asks her out, and it's fine. And he kisses her at the end of the date, and she's like, I wish I felt more when he kissed me. It's like, fine. Then she's like, hey, Casey, I really want to talk to you. Like, can we come over? And Casey's like, I have to work late. The problem, however, is that Tate is still...
bitch. Oh.
Yeah, she's in the same parking lot as Casey's movie theater. So she watches this bitch.
Lying bitch.
Yes. She watches her supposedly best friend get on the back of Jared's motorcycle and like hug up on him and drive away. And what does Tate think to herself? She thinks, I hate that what I'm mad about is the fact that she's wrapped around him, which like is the correct response.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
If
like
that
you
is
should definitely
what you're mad
judge
about,
yourself.
you should be judgy of yourself.
Yeah.
And examine
you
that
absolutely
emotion.
should.
Sure.
Right. Okay. So then, guys. Then something else bonkers happened and it never comes back. She's at her house, back at her house, just angrily cleaning to try to stop thinking about her best friend betraying her.
Right.
Fine. Jared comes home, starts walking across his lawn. She opens her French doors in order to see him better.
Doors.
And then these two, like, grown-ass men get out of the car and start... Also, Penelope didn't give me a great idea about how far away these houses are from each other.
1 tree away.
1 tree away, and yet she can't hear 3 giant grown humans screaming at each other from the front yard.
This thing.
Yes.
Oh my God. Bird chirp.
Caca.
Click, click, click. This was the weirdest shit ever I read in a book. I completely forgot about it. Oh my God. Okay, keep going.
So she looks out of her French doors to, I'm guessing, like 25 feet away, but cannot hear 3 grown men having like a full-on shouting match. They start throwing punches. And her response, they planted a gun in chapter 1. We forgot to tell you about it.
Did
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, chapter 2.
That makes it a little bit better for me because I was like,
all of a sudden,
the fuck? This chick has a gun.
Yeah, she runs downstairs in she's cleaning in underwear for some reason, which is not weird on the face of it, except that I think she just got home. Why aren't your pants still on? I don't know. So,
Melody. No.
Yeah, you're right.
No.
I remember the days before
and
kids
it was
and people
yesterday.
randomly stopping over to my you're right.
If it's 30 seconds into me being home and my pants are still on, it is I have guests or something.
Yeah, fair.
The worst is when you get home and you immediately take off all your clothes, you do. And then a neighbor has seen you enter the house and knocks on your door because they need one time it was tin foil, one, whatever. They just want to say hey. And then you have to be I'm completely naked, even though I just walked into the house. And then you have to get all your shit back on. It's the worst.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of curtains on our house, so I don't spend as much time in the buff as I used to.
Oh, do not care. I do not care.
Well, I used to not. I think it's also just the kids. It's also that I don't wear real clothes anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have to leave my house, so I never am out of comfy clothes.
I'm not just always naked. I don't want that to be.
Yeah, you are. No, you're naked right now. I get that.
Well, I always record naked just as a gift to you. So that to keep your spirits up, but
yeah, you can't.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean
feed me with eye candy.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to think I'm a nudist or something weird or I sit on my furniture in the buff. That's gross. I don't do that. All right, okay,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm waiting.
So she runs
for
downstairs.
Your plot points that you're so insistent on. Come on.
She grabs a gun out of a sideboard somewhere and leaves her house with the gun in her hand, just casually gripped. And by this point, Maddox has materialized somehow and is punching up on the dudes. They're all punching and she doesn't ever have to intervene. So she just slinks back to her house. They notice she's in her underwear. I think they say something lecherous about that. Maybe not. I don't know. And then we never find out why these men. We never find out why it's Jared's responsibility.
Jared gets slashed in the bicep and bleeds.
He gets with a knife
with a sear. It says that his black sweatshirt was noticeably soaked in blood, and it's black too. So it would have to be pretty bloody for that to be apparent to you from 20 feet away.
She never talks about the stitches when he's rubbing up on her later on when she's grabbing at his biceps. It never comes back.
And I don't know who these men were. I don't know.
I don't know what.
Okay, good. I assume this would come back at the end of the book because I didn't get all the way to the end. Also, you're 17 years old. You're sitting in your house.
Right.
Your German international scientist father has a firearm, and you see a fist fight with a knife happening outside of your home. You are safe.
And you think I should shoot somebody?
Sue and shoot. No, but don't you think you call 911 or something?
I certainly
unless
would.
you are an expert marksman, you're not going to shoot somebody involved in a tussle, especially when two people are people that you don't want to shoot. If you want to shoot everybody, maybe
they're grappling on the ground.
What are you going to do, Tate?
Also, she has dreams of Columbia. You don't think that's going to show up on some sort of transcript?
She runs outside. She's not sure if the safety is on. Figure out whether the safety's on. Tatum?
I don't even know if she knows whether or not this gun has a safety.
Is it loaded?
I don't. All questions that I have.
She described it as a pistol, and then she described it as a Glock. I don't know. I
know.
Which is not necessarily mutually exclusive, but I just feel
No, but I feel you should be specific.
I think she doesn't know about guns know enough to be grabbing one and running outside with it and not understanding where the safety is. That's all.
Yeah, bing, boom, bong. Gun safety with us is incredibly important.
Here's the thing. We are two ladies that know about guns.
Put them the fuck down. Yes.
We wouldn't grab one and run outside if we saw a fist fight.
No.
With 16-year-old to 17-year-old boys.
No, I would not.
And then this fight ends with Hero Toes is hey, I don't want to see you at the loop no more.
Never again, fuckers.
Be at the loop.
You're banned at this place I don't own.
I am the king of the high school and the loop.
Also the loop.
Loop.
Cha-ching. Okay.
All right.
So the next morning she finds out that the grandma's going to stay for a week. It actually doesn't matter.
None of it matters.
None of it fucking matters. Then okay. So now I am going to be upset about this for a reason that I think people are not going to understand. I don't care though.
Okay.
She is up early at the school. She comes around a corner and she sees Casey backed up to a corner, full on making out with Jared.
Yeah.
Like full on making out with Jared. Yeah. He's kissing up behind her ear. He's got his grope on. Yeah. She's giggling and like panting and sighing and stuff.
Moaning.
And I am actually not a person that really subscribes to like the girl rules. If I have a crush on somebody, you shouldn't. Or like if I ever stop it. If I ever dated someone, they're not like off limits to my friends now because people grow and change. You know what I mean?
No, in fact, you would let us know tips and pointers.
Yeah, I would. I would be like, does he do that thing? Does what? Yeah.
Or does she
rub right? Oh yeah. You should have a chat about this thing and that thing. Maybe.
Yes.
I'm just putting it out there. However, I am of the mind that if someone spent 3 years
tormenting,
systematically torturing my best friend and making her life an absolute living hell, that person is completely like not only off limits, but like never would it enter my brain to even think that they could possibly be attractive.
Yeah, it's not even to me. It is and it isn't like a loyalty issue, the friendship thing. I mean, that's one part of it. But the other thing is just like, what makes this person attractive to you if you love your friend? What possibility? How did that possibility even enter your brain?
I know.
That this was a romantic pursuit for you. I don't know. It's just very weird.
And even if your friend like wasn't the person that this person was bullying, what about, I don't know. It's just like later on, he comes out with some nonsense. Like he tells her that obviously he did this thing to hurt her. There's a thing where he got arrested right after she left because he like assaulted somebody crazily because he was really upset that she left or whatever.
Ooh. We call that bodyguarding. Do you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're so right. But Piper ends up being the daughter of his arresting officer.
What?
And the only reason that he fucks Piper is because he's getting back at his arresting officer.
What?
Yeah, that's the only reason he has any interest in Piper at all.
What?
He was using her to fuck over her dad. This guy is like...
He is a sociopath.
Thank you. So he tells her all of this outright. And Tate's response is not to be like, oh my God, someday I'm no longer going to be special. And he's going to use this sociopathic awfulness on me or on someone I love. Or like he's going to be upset with someone for hurting me. And then, you know what I mean? Like she doesn't think, she just thinks like I'm special.
I think even at 17, you could realize that person is a maniac.
That's bonkers.
And 17-year-olds are dumb.
Yeah,
but
I was
think
so dumb.
that I would at least recognize maniac.
That it was like 18 red flags?
Yeah.
Minimum?
2 on his body?
Right. Those those badly traced tattoos are, oof. Yeah. So like, I don't know. So on every side of this, it just makes no sense. But anyway, getting back to the point, Casey and Jared are making out. They're together now.
They snarfle. They're snorkeling.
Yeah. And so she like backs away.
The bell rings. Him and Maddox talking to.
Yes.
Yeah. And so he walks away from snorkeling on her friend, and then him and Maddox are talking, and Maddox's like, "You tap that ass yet?" And he's like, "No, not yet, but I'm gonna do it." And then
I think I'm gonna play with this one for a while
and the reason is because I'm fucking with Tatum. And then Maddox's like, "Why do we fuck with Tatum again?" Which I think
Yep.
Because she might
And
overhear
then-
this, so I just wanted to clarify.
I just want to know.
And he's like, just, why do you fucking care? You love doing it too, because you're an asshole as well. So just
Right.
burp, burp, burp. So.
Yeah. So anyway.
So Tatum not
but
only
we do
knows
find
that her
out-
best friend is fucking Jared and is disloyal, but also that Jared is fucking her best friend just to fuck with her. It's crazy.
Yeah, she knows that her best friend is getting used as a weapon against her.
Yeah. But at that point, do you care? Because your best friend is trash. So
I know, right? Like, I don't know. All right. So, we also find out that even though he's doing this thing to get back at Tate, he is done keeping other boys away from her.
Yeah. They can
He's
fucking
just done
have
with her.
The whole school can have her if they want.
Yeah, the whole school can have
If
her,
they
he
want.
says.
He's in control of that.
Which is weird.
He's the king.
He's the king. And she thinks to herself, oh, I hate that he's done with me. I don't know, like the 13 levels of fucked up that this is just incredible. So then she talks to Casey. And Casey has no remorse whatsoever. She's just like, he's kind of nice now, or he's nice to me at least. So like, get off it.
Yeah.
You know, Casey actually says, Tate says, he's always going to be a dick and that's not going to change. And then Casey goes, well, we're always going to be friends and that's not going to change. And I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you the one person who gets to decide that? Because betrayal. You know?
Yeah.
Betrayal is all I'm saying. Fred, I know you're on the rebound, girl, but nobody is this crazy.
No one.
Nobody. Okay. So then, this gross dude, Nate, approaches her in themes class, the one that she shares with Jared. And he's like, go out with me. And she's like, no. And he goes, I don't get you.
Oh, is that who Nate is?
Yeah. Nate's a person who doesn't matter.
You just solved a big mystery
either.
for me. Man. What a caper. All right.
What a caper.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the cat burglar.
Yeah, because they refer to Nate later, and I'm like, who the fuck was Nate? All right, good.
He's also the one that tries to assault her in the woods.
Yeah.
That's coming up, listener.
I just never got his name.
Yeah. So he goes, I don't get you. You give it to Trent in the locker room last week, and then you let Jameson take you out. You probably gave it up for him too. He leaned further and ran his hand up my arm.
Oof.
It's just, ugh. And none of these teenagers sound like teenagers.
No.
I just can't stop harping on it. So then Jay comes in and he threatens him. Jared's like, you get away from her and never talk to her again. Yeah. And she's like, hold on. He's not scowling at me for once in my life. Yeah. This is kind of weird. But then she lashes out. And she's like, I don't need favors from you.
Yeah.
Your parents hate you and they left you alone and probably
your mom's
for dead.
An alcoholic and your dad doesn't love you. She's like, your dad doesn't love you.
Yeah, it's
really mean. It's like maybe even too mean for this guy, and that's a lot.
Well, and there's been this refrain that we haven't talked about. It's like she'll say something will happen, and then she'll randomly think to herself, "This is how bullies are made," and it's this thing that keeps on coming up and coming.
I think
up
the
and
author
coming
wants
up.
us to think that she becomes the bully, but it's just not.
Well, she's on the. Well, no, I think the author's trying to point out that trauma can turn people into bullies.
Sure.
That the people who are bullied becomes the bully, and that's like fine. You know what I mean? But it's fine. It's just not very artful. Anyway. So, yeah, I don't care. There's a thing that happens. She talks about her favorite memory. It involves Jared and a picnic next to her dead mom.
Whoa, in a cemetery. Whoa, let's walk that one back. She was afraid to go to the cemetery, so young Jared made her a picnic and took her there so it would feel like a safe spot for her and so that she could go visit her mom and leave things like necklaces on the grave. And it's actually important. Right. And also they didn't have brunch next to the corpse of her mother. God, Melody.
I'm sorry. I mean, but really, though, if you cut to the chase, they're having a picnic next to her dead mom.
Kind of, but not in view of. Jesus.
Okay. So then Liam approaches her after school, and he's like, I want to get back with Casey. And she's like, ugh, I guess I'll tell her that I'll pass on the message. And he's like, thank you. She and her grandma have a conversation about
that
things.
Nice neighbor boy.
That nice neighbor boy who's not nice.
She always thought she'd end up with that nice neighbor boy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, next. What happens next?
Yeah. Well, by the end of the conversation, no, it is important. By the end of the conversation, her very astute grandmother is like, there's strength in vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you just tell him how much he's hurt you,
Mm-hmm.
and perhaps he will get it through his noggin.
That is fair. Yep. That is
Yeah.
important.
It's really good.
Uh-huh.
So that night she wakes up, you guys, in a storm.
Oh, God.
And the storm has blown open
Those
her French
doors. Sexy.
And so she goes and sits in a tree, in the storm, the thunderstorm.
Because she wants to be in the storm. She wants the danger.
She wants the danger.
Yeah.
And she sees Casey leaving his house at midnight.
Does Casey not know this bitch lives next door to him?
This is what I'm asking. If I was going to do this to my best friend, I would not also like rub it under her nose by tittering down his front walk.
If you know how much your friend loves her French doors, you're going to think she's at those French doors just tracing their contours and curves, and just leaning up against them.
She's putting her hot breath on there and then like drawing hearts in the window.
Throwing them open, standing in the wind, and then closing them and throwing them open again.
That's right. She's inviting bluebirds in. I can't.
Celine Dion in a music video.
Yes.
So you've got to think, like, her room even faces the driveway. Like, come
Apparently,
on. So
yeah.
if it's midnight and it's like Mustang, she's going to know. I don't know.
I know.
Whatever.
I know.
Also, this bitch loves storms. So that too.
We find that
if it's
out.
storming outside, this chick is outside.
She's in
so
it.
Casey, you should know that about your friend.
Wouldn't you think?
Loves a storm.
Loves it. So he's in his room and he says, it's really dumb to be in that tree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's true. She's like, it never mattered to you before whether I got hurt.
Safety.
And then he says, I wouldn't care if you were alive or dead.
Yeah.
And walks away.
Yeah, but it is the first time they've talked since she said your dad doesn't love you and your mom's an alcoholic and you're going to end up being a burnout who peaked in high school.
She does say all of that. Yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying that, things are said.
I feel that was a fair comeback.
Yeah. The next day, Ben asks her to go to a bonfire with him, and then Casey wrangles that into her also going to the loop.
The loop!
Near.
Honk,
Cha-ching.
honk.
Awooga. Okay. So, and then she lashes out at Casey and she's like, he's just using you, which shouldn't be a lash out. That should just be like, I'm being a good friend to you right now.
Right.
I heard him say out loud that he's using you. FYI.
Yeah.
Whatever. She doesn't though, because she's also a bad friend.
Yeah.
So, that after this bitch has dreams of Columbia. It's all she can talk about. She has this science fair she's been working on for forever. And she's back in themes class, right? She is an academic, athletic person. She is a cross-country with books, right? She is a cross-country book, is the way I'm going to phrase that.
It's just that when you say Columbia, I thought of the country, and I'm like, I really herbed something wrong. And I didn't want to bring it up because I feel like we've been so off topic, but I was just like, dreams of Columbia. What
she just wants to go to Medellin.
Yeah. It's like, she just got back from France. Like, what are you talking about? I thought she wanted to go to college. All right. Moving on. I'm not going to spend time on that. I was very confused.
Okay. So, let's recall. She has this assignment that I'm going to guess together is at least 40% of her grade.
Sure.
So, the monologue has got to be 20% of her grade.
And you've got to choose it from a list.
It is supposed to be.
Of movies and...
It's supposed to be from... Yes! So it's a prescribed list.
Oh, this is stressing you out.
Yes!
Me too.
I can't believe it's not stressing you out.
No,
more.
it is.
You are more of a rule follower than
I just
am.
have very little give a fuck about the characters in this book. Yes, it stressed me out immensely. She writes an original monologue.
Yeah, she freewheels. She freeballs
to Jared.
This monologue so that she can talk to Jared about the way that he's wronged her.
She asks to do her monologue early. It's due on Friday.
Early.
She wants to do it on Wednesday. She gets up there. She talks about her dead mom. She starts it off talking about how much she loves storms. Yeah, she loves those storms.
And her French doors.
Because they blow open her French doors.
They blow open her French doors. Then her curtains flutter.
Oh, they're black sheer curtains, by the way.
Oh. Oh, it's so sexy.
Oh, this is a two-parter. I hate that it is, but it is.
I know!
God damn it.
It is a two-parter.
Fuck.
Okay. But the monologue ends. I'm just going to read it to you because I don't know whether it's good or not.
Read it to us. Perform it, please. I'll be here.
I will.
I'll be here with my coffee.
Do you want me to... Not the whole thing.
Were you going to read the whole thing?
No, I was going to read the end.
Oh, just, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Whatever you were going to do, I want it full throttle. That's what I want. I want it like you're
no worries.
Chasing a corner at the loop. Rumble.
Okay. So it ends with, you were my tempest, my thundercloud, my tree in the downpour. I loved all of those things, and I loved you. But now, you're a fucking drought. I thought that all assholes drove German cars, but it turns out that pricks in Mustangs can also leave scars.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Did anyone hear that? I whispered it. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
I don't know. But you want to know what, Erin?
What?
It's not a monologue that's going to count for 20% of her fucking brain.
She's going to handle it later in the essay.
How?
It's got to be a monologue in an essay. I don't know.
There's no way that she's going to justify doing
Honestly,
an extemporaneous...
Running out of the house with the gun and shooting one of those guys in the brawl probably would have had less impact on her ability to get into Columbia than throwing this essay. When she could have just said it to his face.
Yeah.
And the problem is she doesn't hate him. Not even a little bit.
Not at all.
And she runs out. I'm sorry. This was like such a 10 Things I Hate About You ripoff. I couldn't.
I know. And 10 Things I Hate About You is so good.
She says the word tempest. I can't.
I know. Okay. So then she's feeling like she is on top of the world after this thing. She gets like a standing O from her classmates, which is not a thing.
No. They would all make fun of her to infinity. Are you kidding me?
And beyond. They would Buzz Lightyear the shit out of her.
Yeah, like she asked to do an assignment early, first of all.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh,
and
fuck
then
you.
Got up there and cried about her dead mom and wrote up a thing that like was not the assignment to challenge the most popular boy in school to be like, love me again. Are you kidding me?
I know.
They would murder her dead.
I know. Good thing they don't know it's not a monologue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't know that. Because they're like, what play did this come from? And she's like, you're going to find out in my essay.
They're idiots.
Like, no, you're not. No, you're
not. Does the essay come back?
No.
No, she didn't get into Columbia. No.
I fucking hope
what a
not.
Burnout who
because
peaked in high school.
This is what I'm saying. God. Okay, so he leaves. He's obviously upset. He's like crying in the hallway.
Not in view of others.
No, but everybody comes out. His eyes are red.
Yeah.
And whatever. Oh, and then we get a little nugget at the end of this.
Little nug.
Because apparently the next book in this series is the same book from his perspective.
What?
And his reaction to this is bonkers. Piper materializes and asks him for a ride home. And he says, I've got my bike. And she's like, I can handle it. And then he takes her into a bathroom and fucks her on a toilet. Piper. It's like a revenge fuck.
Oh my.
Against the heroine.
Wait, how do you know this?
Because there's a nugget at the end of this book that's like, wait for Jared's perspective.
So at this moment, he takes Piper into the bathroom.
Into a bathroom.
And fucks her on a toilet?
Sits down on a toilet where everyone shits.
God. Oh my God. Dracarys, this book. I cannot.
Dracarys!
Oh my God.
And then he like tosses her off of his cock and is like, you're not the woman that I want you to be. And she's like confused and he takes her home.
Justice for Piper! Ugh.
Justice for motherfucking Piper.
Oof.
And her bandage dress.
Like you
and
get
her
that
heels
bandage
on
dress,
the girl.
Beach, Piper. Ugh.
That's right. You wear
your heels on the beach.
Want.
It is impractical.
Anytime.
It wasn't a good idea, but it's fine.
Nobody cares.
I am judging you just from a common sense perspective, but not from a slut one. It's just they're going to sink into that sand, Piper, but that's okay if you like them.
And later on, the heroine also judges her about wearing sandals, strappy heeled sandals in October, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit where you live.
Chicago.
She can wear whatever she wants. Everyone, just get out of here. Justice for Piper.
We got to get. We got to get to.
She ends up being the villain. How dare you?
We got to at least get to this makeout. How many listeners do you think we lost in this episode? Because we were holding on to like a couple who gave us 3 stars for like, I still listen even though their tangents are tangents. We lost them. They're gone.
And even
They're like, fuck all.
Melody does is shrink.
I'm out. Yeah.
I'm sorry, listener. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I can only be me though. All right. Here's where we're gonna end.
We're gonna end it this evening, right?
Yeah, we are.
We got to get through this evening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, back in this book, before we find out about next book.
Oh my god.
Back in this book.
So
she's on top of the world after this
when
monologue.
She goes over to his house.
Yeah, his dick is still wet.
Is still pipery.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Or maybe they didn't actually like get to penetrating.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I don't care. I mean, at the very least, he has drunk at least half a bottle of Jack Daniels by the time she kisses him. So he's like cowboy mouthwashed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess there's a silver lining there. But we got to back up. So,
okay.
Back in her perspective.
Yeah, we're back.
She is on top of the world.
Having a great
She's
day.
like, I am having a vulnerable moment and I'm feeling strong. And this is where, I am behind her on this. Like, there is a huge strength in vulnerability.
I'm not behind public declarations of anything, but I'm behind the feeling that she has now. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not behind fucking 20% of your grade senior year for no fucking reason.
All that as well.
Like,
yes.
But anyway.
I just don't think she's going to get into Columbia regardless. She's not smart.
She's not even going for an athletic scholarship. Bitch can run a mile in 6 minutes and she's not going for an athletic scholarship. How dare you?
Is that fast?
That is fucking
Is that
fast.
athletic scholarship fast?
Yeah,
I guess I'm just because I'm in the Army, it seems like a lot of people can run that fast around
You're in
me.
a different demographic.
Yeah, okay.
No.
That's athletic scholarship fast in high school?
That's like 2.5 hour marathon fast, I think.
Yeah, but there's a difference between running 1 mile in 6 minutes and running a marathon in 6 minute miles.
Sure, but she's also a cross country.
So she's going that fast cross country? That is fast.
I mean, she takes second place all the time, so maybe not.
Oh gosh, she takes second place in everything she does.
We watch her take second place all the time.
4 times. Probably 2, but still.
I also don't know why we had to watch her do it, but like, I guess to say she has interests other than Jared's cock. I don't know.
Why did we have to sit through that whole honey hair treatment?
Well, because we had to find out about the absolutely boastful hardwood floors.
So proud.
They're so proud. So.
No one's listening. Let's do this. Okay.
Let's do this. Okay. So she's up feeling high. And so she's like, you know what, Ben? I will go to the loop with you. Vroom, vroom, ka-chow. And then she goes home. Later on that night, it's a storming again, you guys. It's a storming.
Boom. Flash.
Because it's fall. Boom, flash. Thunder, thunder. And she hears a bark outside.
Woof,
bark,
woof.
bark. Bark.
That's just how rooster sounds.
Scratch, 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 scratch. And she realizes that Madman is outside. And so she's like, oh my God, I have to go find Madman. And then she's like, I'll catch all hell if I bring him inside my house.
Yeah.
So I'm going to test the door. So she tests the door and it's open. She walks in and this place has been destroyed.
Everything's broken.
The house has been trash. There are picture frames that are askew on the wall. The glass is completely shattered. Furniture overturned. Nutty.
Never date a man who destroys stuff when he's mad.
Thank you.
That's a little song I made up.
42nd red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag
Don't
city. He just is made of red flags. Yeah. His blood is not made of red cells.
No.
But
it is made of red flags. What a weird thing to say. Moving on.
I don't give a shit. Coursing through his veins.
She walks through the house. It's destroyed.
She is worried that he is hurt or kidnapped.
And then
turns out
there is Jared
he's sitting in the rain
outside by the pool
with a handle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is 17.
Yeah.
Handle of Jack Daniels, mostly gone.
Yeah.
She confronts him and she's like, what are you doing? Dude, does your mom know you trashed the house? Madman was outside. You're a bad dog owner. Yeah. And then she's like regrouping and she apologizes for hurting him. Because he's like, what the fuck do you care? I'm nothing, remember? I'm going to peak in high school. Nobody gives a shit.
Like, you really fucked me up today, too, in your monologue.
Yeah. And so she follows him inside the house. They're both wet, super
Very
downpouring.
Wet. She can't tell what's tears and what's rain.
That's right. She grabs the bottle out of his hand and runs to the sink and pours it out. He comes over and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And like tries to grab it away from him. And in doing so, he turns her around and she gets pushed up against his body. Yep. And then they're breathing each other's air and looking in each other's eyes. And then he pulls the Jack Daniels away and tosses it on the ground. And then she's like, get the fuck away from me. And instead, he picks her up by the waist and sets her on the sink. And he pins her hands behind her body and pulls her up against his torso. And they're just breathing each other's air and staring at each other with hatred.
Listen, worked for me. 10 out of 10. Would read again. Sorry.
It's
a little bit non-consenty because she's very like no and he's very like yes. But since it's from her perspective, 10 out of 10 would read again.
I know.
I hate him. I hate him, but it was sexy.
I hate him. I hate the fact that he's 5 years old.
Yeah, I was not imagining a 16-year-old boy. 17. Sorry. I keep thinking they're 16.
I know. They're going to turn 18 this month, you guys. Don't worry. It's going to happen.
I was a fan.
Yeah. So
they make out.
They make out hard because he's like, this is where he says, you fucked me up today. And she's like, good. And I really liked that she was just spitting things back at him.
Yeah.
It was very like, unhand me. And he was like, I'm going to kiss you instead. It worked because she immediately responded. You know, she like pulls him against her with her. She wraps her legs around him and pulls his heart on against her.
Hair.
Oh, yeah. He's got one hand at the nape of her neck in her hair and one hand on her ass. And he's like nibbling all over her jaw and her neck. And then she gets thrown out of the moment, though, when he does the ear trick that she saw him do on KC.
Oh, yeah.
And so she's like, get away from me. I can't.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. And then he does not. And so then she pushes him hard. And then he's like looking at her with animalistic eye contact or whatever.
Eye contact.
Just, yeah, he tastes like alcohol. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And then she sprints out of the house. Listen.
I understand your concerns. I'm just saying I enjoyed.
No, I responded in places that I didn't want to respond in, but I did respond.
I think that Penelope Douglas should like just write sex vignettes. She's very good. Well, I don't mean it like that. I just mean that's the best part of the book. I didn't mean that's all she should write. I didn't mean it like that. Sorry.
No, I mean,
I really think
I would love
that's
read
the best part
something...
of her writing for sure.
Oh, yeah. And I would love to read something about a 43-year-old crime boss.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, yeah.
Like, Penelope, hit me with it. Like, get it in there. You know what I mean? But I couldn't turn my brain off, even though everything from my waist down was a flutter. You know what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying.
And, apparently that is what we're gonna end on.
That's it, I guess. I'm sorry this was a two-parter. It's all my fault. It's my cranky mood. It's because I wouldn't stop talking about arborists. I'm sorry.
You know what? I honestly think that you're gonna have some sort of like slander suit.
Tree Stump Todd. Yeah.
Yeah. Tree Stump Todd is gonna write us an email. That's all I gotta say. And Tree Stump Todd, you are more than welcome to write us an email. In fact, Tree Stump Tracy, let us know.
Oh, yeah. But I think what's happening right now is like there's an HB that's listening to this who's like calling to her husband and being like, Todd, I think they're talking about you and your business on the Sex Book podcast I listened to. What's going on, Todd?
Yeah.
That's what's more likely. Or it's Tree Stump Tracy, but I don't think Tree Stump Tracy thinks we're talking about her because she's like, it's definitely Todd. So I'm out of this game.
I mean, we did say Todd out loud. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm just saying that Tracy's out there can also get all those tree stumps.
Yeah. Especially a lot of our construction and like that kind of outdoor work in Alaska is done by women. Like a lot of your road work people are women in Alaska.
Yeah.
Todd?
That's very, very cool.
I think they're talking. I think the podcast ladies know you.
Todd, they didn't even have the courtesy of saying your company name out loud.
They're besmirching the work of an arborist.
You went to tree surgery school.
Went to Columbia for that.
They do good work in Medellin.
If that is you, if you write us an email, we will respond.
I will read it on the podcast.
Yes.
I will.
Tree stump Todd.
Okay.
All right.
We're sorry.
We're sorry. We're sorry and we're done here. Listen, you can find us on Twitter.
No, Amber.
What?
Erin,
Yes.
we have lady loves to get to.
What? Oh, lady loves. Fuck. Okay. Yeah.
I've got one.
Okay.
Got one. So I've got two, actually. Yeah. Two of them. I want you to live your life knowing that your level of sexual activity is absolutely no reflection on your worth, your capability, your intelligence, or anything else that is not directly related to whether or not you have sex with other humans. That's it. That's one lady love. I just want you to go forth into the world thinking to yourself, nobody is ever going to think that crop top makes me look slutty, because nobody of worth will ever think that.
True.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just real mad about it. You honorable sluts out there, you keep being you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I also think that 3 different angsty books just in the current
I'm sorry.
of the world.
I didn't know. I didn't.
No, we can't really know.
We can't
you
know.
It's hard to know. But we're coming on, I think, week 2 or 3 after Alabama and Georgia decided to lose their minds. I'm sorry. I'm getting political. I don't give a shit.
Podcast until they got political.
I did. And if I'm sorry, it's going to happen because
politics, their bodies. Now
I
don't
can't
listen to it no more.
I can only go so long with a public platform without saying some things. So if you are of the mind that I am, that women should be able to be in charge of their bodily autonomy, whether or not you agree with abortion, it's not about that. It's not about whether or not you would get an abortion. I would also like for anybody to be able to choose not to get an abortion, right? Like, that's all it is. I just want women to be able to be in charge of their own bodies. If you feel the same way, one place that you can put your money where your mouth is the Yellow Hammer Fund. You can go to, one of the links is abortionfunds.org. Another one, you can just Google Yellow Hammer Fund. There's also yellowhammerfund.org. And it's a place where it pools money and it helps women get the reproductive care that they're seeking, whether it's paying for travel and hotel, because a lot of women already, even though it is currently a constitutionally protected right to be able to decide what we want to do with our reproductive. We have reproductive freedom sort of right now, I guess is what I'm trying to say, except that a lot of women in this country still have to travel hundreds of miles in order to find a doctor who will take care of them. A lot of those women are impoverished and they might not be able to pay for the bus ticket or the lodging. A lot of these states also have laws to where you have to visit the doctor and then wait 3 days and then go back to the doctor. So we're talking 3 days of hotel rooms, plus all of the recovery time, whether or not you can travel afterwards.
And take the time off of your job, too.
Take the time off of your job.
And you lose money that way as well.
So let's donate to funds like that. Donate to Planned Parenthood. Donate to the people who want to keep women's choice with women. And let's help our sisters in less fortunate positions or less fortunate geographic regions get the care that they need. That is a lady love that you can do today. So,
I found these ice cream bars that I really like.
Sorry, I'm so mad.
They're a Greek yogurt ice cream bar. I found them at Costco and also Fred Meyer's. They're called Yasso. YASSO. It's a Greek yogurt ice cream bar. They've got more protein than your regular ice cream bar and less calories. So they're marginally more healthy for you. They come in several flavors. Mint chocolate chip and cookie dough are the best of them. So just get your ice cream on. And don't be guilty about it. Just, treat yourself this week with an ice cream bar. How'd I do? Did I do good with mine? Was mine good?
You know what? I think the balance is incredible. Yeah? Yes, that's perfect. And you know what, you guys? I honestly wish I was more eloquent when I'm upset, but I'm not.
It's hard.
And it's never going to happen. Yeah. So,
you can
get your ice cream.
Get your ice cream and your healthcare. You can find us on Twitter, heaving_bosoms, Instagram @heavingbosoms, Facebook, Heaving Bosoms Podcast. I couldn't figure out if you froze or you were just crazy.
I'm just stuck like this.
Heaving Bosoms Podcast on Facebook. The closed Facebook group, which is about to 1,000 members. Also, these bitches are in the group being like, you should give your 1,000th member a prize or something. Maybe, but guess what? You don't get to fucking decide that. Cultists.
We did have one loyal cultist be like, what if the 1,000th member bought our cult leaders an entire fleet of their favorite lipsticks?
Yeah,
and that cult member is going to get extra porridge at dinner
for a change. Maybe that. I don't know. Honestly, my first thought when they said that was, I don't know that bitch. I don't know who. Member 1,000 could be anybody. That could be some bitch I hate. I don't know. Anyway, maybe we'll give a prize to member 1,000. We're at like 985 right now. Let's see. What else are we on? Is that all the social media?
We have a website that is heavingbosomspodcast.com.
Real out of date.
We are on Patreon, where you can get a much more of us.
Yes.
And gifts and
extra
fun
books,
other fun
extra
things.
Extra tinglers, extra bonus episode with me and Cole, if that's the only episode you've ever listened to.
Yeah.
Melody's not salty about it at all.
No.
We were in Blush magazine and it was like Heaving Bosoms, especially when Cole was on. She's like, that was once. She's so mad.
I totally loved that Cole got a shout out in a romance. You know what? Cole is fucking great. Yeah. Hi, Cole. Yeah. Hi.
She was just a little salty.
You really earned that shout out, Cole. All right? You did one episode on Heaving Bosoms Podcast. Congratulations. No, thank you for coming on, Cole. We really appreciate you. Can't wait to meet you at the wedding, Cole.
Right. She loves you. She really does.
I really do.
What else? And merch on Redbubble. If you look up Heaving Bosoms, you can find all our original designs. And is that it?
Probs.
Send your possessions to. No, I'm not going to give you my address, but
us.
Give them to us.
Just box it up. Wait.
Just box it up and wait. Maybe we'll come get them.
That's right.
We want all your hair dryers.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Keep being a badass.
And love yourself as much as you love Tree Stump Todd, the tree surgeon arborist who goes and gets those trees for you. Columbia educated.
Man.
Knows everything there is about tree veins and tree hearts and tree arthritis.
That's right. And he did so much at surgery school. Tree Stump Todd is a goddamn inspiration. Yeah. And he also donates to the Yellowhammer Fund, I'm sure.
I'm sure of it. Yeah. Tree Stump Tracy definitely does.
Oh, Tree Stump Tracy, I think, founded the Yellowhammer Fund.
Probably. All right.
So, love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Buffy and Frodo were in the Hogwarts library late into the night, prepping for the final trek into Mordor.
Liz, I have to stop you.
Why?
Because this already sounds like the greatest story of all time.
World Stealers!
More Banana Podcasts presents World Stealers, a fan fiction podcast. I'm Kate.
And I'm Liz.
And every episode will take you on a new adventure through a familiar fandom with a hot off the press original fanfic.
World Stealers has everything. Wizards, sea creatures, adventure and daring. Terrible accents.
Yeah. So if you're a bit of a geek or you just love great stories, World Stealers is for you.
Find us at the Gates of Mordor or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.